Hey everyone, it's Greg. If you like this episode's break music, visit facebook.com/NeverFall. You can also find them on Spotify. It's NeverFall, one word. If you're in the area of the Carolinas from May 26th until June 9th, they are playing near you. Find them online, go see them live, and enjoy the show.
I'll just record episode 88 another time. It's fine. You can hang out here a little bit. Like, get the fuck out of here in like an hour. It's cool with me. I'll play video games tonight. I don't give a shit. Okay. Welcome, everybody, to episode 88 of the Serial Chillers podcast from the Super Network studio. I'm here with Hella Greg. He is 66.6 feet directly below us in the Super Network bunker. I'm bad on the soundboard tonight. How goes it? Hella Greg. Little branding tonight.
Yes, that's nice. I'm doing well, thank you. And I'm gonna have to split here in a second and shut these lights off because it's far too bright in the bunker.
Yeah, the bunker looks very just normal right now. I always expect to see like neon color change LEDs glowing in there.
That's
like,
happening. It's just over there.
And you're under the harsh white of that fucking hospital light above you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely upcycled medical supplies.
Yes.
Not supplies. Hospital.
This is going perfectly to start.
Skip, come back to me.
Come back to me. Here in the studio with me, I've got two guests you guys love to hate. Welcome back. Bigfoot and Robbie.
What's up, suckers?
Hello. Hello. Also, let me give you one of these.
And I know my wife doesn't listen to this podcast, but when I was leaving the house, I was like, oh, I'm bringing some pops for the Bigfoot nest. And she said, do Bigfoot really sleep in nests? And I said, yes, they do. And she said, I want to see the proof. I want the facts. And I got pissed and I stormed out.
Dang. You should send her...
She said,
You showed her, dude.
She said, do Bigfoot sleep in nests? And you said, thank you for taking an interest in my hobbies finally.
You should send her to Jeffrey Gonzalez.
Yes.
I hear
paranormal investigator.
Yeah. That guy's the worst. And a newcomer here in the studio... Robbie brings relatives. That's his deal. That's what happens here. So
you brought another relative?
I have. Who? Taylor.
Oh, okay. Nice.
They love his show.
Yeah, it's fun.
What can I say? I'm incredibly lovable. Welcome, Ray.
Awesome. How you guys doing out there?
Did they answer? Hold on, listen.
Silence.
Those fuckers. You guys will get to know them and you'll be less shy around them. All right. Well, let's see. You guys know how the show works. Let me explain it for anybody that doesn't. Each week I sit down with old friends, new friends, good friends, and bad friends and tell them the story of an infamous serial killer. Throughout the show, you guys can chime in on my story, and if you brought a story of your own that is true crime, dark, creepy, unsolved, or otherwise mysterious, please feel free to share it. Lastly, if you have questions about questions, make sure to ask questions because I cannot answer questions about questions if you never ask questions. Are there any questions?
Sorry, Bob. No questions.
Nay.
Then welcome to and let's play the Serial Chillers podcast.
Yee.
We're going live on social media, as it turns out. All right. Today's serial killer. Tell me, motherfuckers, have you heard of Danny Rolling?
Nah.
No.
Can't say that I have.
Yeah, I know.
Is that the lady that did, what's that? Harry Potter? Is that lady?
Gary Potter.
This didn't get confusing at all, very quick at all. Yep, Danny Rolling. You guys mostly know how it goes.
That's a good name.
JK.
Yeah.
JK.
JK.
Danny is spelled like you're rolling, though. Rolling.
Yeah.
How's the other one spelled?
Like R-A-W.
Row.
Rowling.
That's rolling like on ecstasy, correct?
Yes, I suppose that would also
Like
be the
Raleigh
way that you spelled
fingers.
it. Yeah, that's the other one.
His name is Ralph, man.
I mean,
Ralph.
Okay, anyway, question number 1. In what year was Danny Rolling born? Yeah, I got the supplies out for you guys. All right, Bigfoot said 1956, Ray said 1969, and Robbie said 1965. 250 points to Bigfoot. Ooh. Starting this thing out right.
he came to play.
All right. So, unfortunately, Bigfoot's going to start with a lead here. 250 points to zeros across the board.
It almost sounds like the deck stacked against him.
So Danny Rolling was born. It was actually May 26th, 1954.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah. So before he was born, his mother Claudia married James Rolling when she was only 19 years old. James was a local police officer who would beat his wife on occasion, said the article.
Son of a bitch.
On occasion.
Claudia was you will see soon that it is not on occasion, unless by on occasion he's like, I meant the occasion is days that end with Y.
Well, occasion is relative, you know?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Seasonal.
His occasion was daily.
Everything is an occasion.
Like, look at that. The sky's up there still today.
That's the occasion.
Get over here. So,
Right hook.
oh my God. So,
We just get off the topic so quickly.
yeah, I got to keep us in line here, man. All right, here we go. Okay. So, yes, Claudia got beat occasionally by James. Claudia was found to be with child 2 weeks into the couple's marriage, which angered James because he didn't want to have kids at all. And he was actually going to be having his kid 2 weeks.
Pull-out game was not strong. Right?
Not strong. So
I half expected you to say they hadn't consummated the marriage yet, and
say what? So throughout the pregnancy, James is going to beat on Claudia for probably obvious reasons if you're trying to not have a kid.
To kill the child, basically.
So at one point, Claudia is going to leave James, but she would return and continue the marriage only a few weeks later. On May 26, 1954, Danny Rolling was born in Shreveport, Louisiana, following a difficult delivery which consisted of the use of forceps. So I think we have actually had a killer not that long ago who had like lasting damage when they were pulled out pretty hard with some forceps. And
that
did
Coral?
some, it might have been Coral.
I mean,
Coral had meningitis.
I can imagine how that would fuck you up, though.
Yeah, like just
You know what
smashing
I
that
mean?
little soft brain when you're first coming out of it.
I think it was 83.
So Danny was the older of two sons. Following Danny's birth, James was quite verbally abusive to Danny as an infant because James didn't want children, and he got one about 10 months into being married. August, can you imagine 10 months into you getting married, you had a newborn?
No, I could not.
Dog,
Could you imagine being so?
I would have.
we were
verbally
11.
abusive
We were
to
11
it?
months. Yeah.
I would.
Could you imagine
have,
just walking past a baby in their little playpen
twins at
thing
that.
and just be like, "Fuck you and your stupid face,
I could imagine
ruining
that.
shit."
That yes,
They don't call him Uncle Bad Guy for no reason.
Yeah.
August
Wayne?
15th, 1955, Danny's mother gave birth to a second son, Kevin. James seemed to like Kevin a little more than Danny, but still not very fucking much. In November of 1955, the first incidents of physical abuse towards Danny was when he started crawling. James, quote, did not like the way that his son was crawling, so he beat him.
Wow.
Can you imagine just being that? You stupid little
creepy. I don't
fucker.
like it.
That's not how you crawl. Stomps
I
him
can imagine
down.
it was like an inchworm. He would just poke his ass up and
He's like, this is how you crawl, little fucker.
Fucking kicked him across the room. So,
He'd just be like, I don't. It's creepy. I don't like it.
and I'm pretty sure that quote was from James. Yeah, he's like, yeah, I beat him. He's crawling like a dumb little bitch. So, yeah.
Like
He's
an inchworm.
Crawling like an infant.
he's gonna be far more violent because he starts to get a little closer to Kevin. Therefore, Danny is he's the bad kid. 1958. He's about 4 years old now. Claudia's gonna leave James due to the abuse. Claudia stayed away for 6 months until she listened to James' pleas for them to return home. Several things took place at this point. Question number 2. What was a traumatizing punishment Danny would experience from his father? Was it A, burned him with lit cigarettes, B, severe beatings, C, tying him up for long periods, or D, starving him? Burn him with cigarettes, severe beatings, tying him up for long periods, or starving. Bigfoot said severe beatings. Ray said starving him. Robbie said burned with lint cigarettes. Yes, lit cigarettes. So there's 3 of you, and there's 4 answers. So come on, like statistically, someone got that right because you guys have 3 different. Nobody got that right.
Mother.
So he would tie him up for long periods.
At how old? I'm sorry.
This is 4.
Well, he was already
Months
beating him,
or
so I figured he
years?
just continued to beat him.
Right.
4 years old.
You would
He's
think
4
that that's
years
the
old.
obvious answer.
So he's 4 years old, and it said about 6 times over a 6-month period, Danny was tied up for about 8 hours.
Jeez.
Well, where does a 4-year-old have to go?
Like not tied.
Dog everywhere.
Yeah, like
Literally.
so many places.
You wouldn't even think of the places.
Like it wasn't like tied up to the bed so he can get 8 feet away. It was like tied down.
Tied
It was
down.
like he was
Couldn't move, just
yeah.
fucked up pretty much.
Well, as usual, Bigfoot doesn't
Babysitters
really
are
see
expensive.
the entire problem with that. It is hard to be empathetic when you are a psychopath.
In this economy,
In another situation, Danny tried to steal a candy bar. He's about 4 or 5 years old, but was caught. His parents caught him, and his parents made him return it to the store and apologize to the owner. I don't necessarily find a problem with that. I think that's like a good little like rite of passage.
That's
if you
fucking
got
responsible,
fucking ganking however, they were very like walking in like, this little motherfucker's a thief. Everybody look at the little piece of shit fucking shoplift. Like they made, they
They made a show out of it.
exactly
Humiliated him.
Yes, humiliate. And like, I don't know, like I look at my 4-year-old wrong and she'll just like start welling up and crying and shit. Like it is. I can imagine walking her through a store and be like, looking at this dumb piece of shit, because there's words they don't even know, but they understand.
Right.
by
You gotta
the way
keep 'em
you're
humble.
saying it
what's
to
the
them.
gotta keep 'em
inflection?
humble.
It's the inflection.
Yeah. Kids fucking know, man. They're not smart, but they get shit. I don't see the. I like where they went in the first half. The knocking him down at 4 years
They
old.
had us in the first half, not gonna lie.
Maybe at 14, you walk your 14-year-old in there, you're like, this stupid ass fucking idiot, learn
Well,
nothing. Like,
I mean,
He's an idiot.
December of 1959, James found a puppy while at work, and he took the dog home. Like, hey, man, what about this kid's a dog? Like, they're like 5 years old now. Danny became quite fond of the dog and was glad to have something to confide in. First time in his life that
hide in.
yes. So he has something of his own for the first time he felt.
He felt all right.
Yes. Everybody, dog lovers hang in there because James would constantly beat the dog, according to Danny and neighbors. Terrible. James would later kill the dog by repeated torture and making Danny watch. The dog
This
would
is why
actually
Paul isn't
die
on this
in
episode.
Danny's arms. Yeah, that's why. This moment is obviously going to stick with Danny for some time. Obviously, maybe, probably, mostly forever. I watched my dad torture the only thing I ever loved, and it died in my arms. I'm okay now, though. Like,
I'm good.
I slept on it. Later in 1959, it's the first reported case of James refusing to hug or show any affection towards his son Danny. Like, there were, he beat his ass all the time, but he was still a son, and he was proud of him at times and he loved him. But he gets to this point where he's like, nah, not my son. James believed hugging was also, quote, sissy stuff, and refused to hug his own son. So yeah, he wouldn't hug his 6-year-old son. 1962, at 8 years old, he's now living in Columbus. Claudia left James again because she didn't like the way he smacked when he ate steaks. No, she was getting beat up a lot. They eventually got back together and moved to Shreveport, though, because... Yeah. Claudia admitted later in court that Danny was suffering physical abuse at least once or twice a week at the hands of his father, James. The children were not allowed to have birthdays or holidays, but there's like religions based around that. So that's not like the worst thing I've ever heard in my life. Unless they were like, now we have Christmas. You don't have Christmas. Like, the tree is for us. Stay the fuck away. Don't touch it. We'll decorate it.
Eyes down.
Yeah, December 25th, 1963, because the violence had gotten so bad, Claudia left James once again with both of the boys. She packed the Christmas tree in the car and left, but she did not stay gone long, so they did have a Christmas tree. In 1963, Claudia suffered from a nervous breakdown, and Danny failed the 3rd grade for repeatedly missing school due to illnesses. School counselors described Danny as suffering from an inferiority complex with aggressive tendencies and poor impulse control. That sounds pretty familiar if you've listened to this show once or 17 times. It was recommended that Danny receive counseling, but he never did. Claudia again left with the boys. Was it 6 times already? Stay gone! But eventually she would return back to James. Question number 3. How long would she stay gone this time? She stayed
gone.
She has stayed gone as long as 6 months up to this point.
Now, we're talking dead or like coming back?
She left James. She took the boys. She's gone, but she's going to be back. How long is it going to be?
I think the mom is what messed him up. All the leaving and coming back, leaving and coming back.
I don't think you're absolutely.
I think it's a combo.
I was
of
going
all
to say
of
it's
them.
definitely a combination.
I'm thinking it's the stirrups.
What do you got over there?
6 months.
6 months. Bigfoot says 45 days. Robbie said one
day. $1, Bob.
The price is wrong, Bob.
Robbie, come on down. You're gonna play Plinko.
That bitch came right back.
Yeah. So 250. Yeah. 2 weeks. 2 weeks. She was back in Shreveport with James for, so Danny began to use his artistic talent he shared with his mother to create a world of his own. He was a very imaginative young man. Maybe if he had just
At that point, it's probably all he has.
written some books or something.
But does he have friends and stuff, though, at this point?
No.
No
Yeah,
friends.
So his imagination's where he's living at.
Wow.
He's pretty getting his ass kicked off and on, and they're like moving out of town and coming
Back and forth.
So, yeah, Bigfoot's not wrong about, it can't be healthy for a kid to...
Yay,
like,
no more
yeah,
ass
absolutely.
kickings.
Yeah, no.
Getting my ass kicked.
Yeah.
Yay, no more ass kickings.
Right.
Oh, getting my ass kicked.
Hey, 2 Christmases.
So,
and then nothing.
In 1964, at the age of 10, in an attempt to teach the boys how to drive, James would slap Danny in the face repeatedly and berated him for not knowing how to use the clutch. What, by 10 you haven't learned how to use the clutch, you little motherfucker? Like, there's not even...
That's how you get them psyched. That's how you get them like pumped.
That's how you build confidence.
a few just open hand slaps across the fucking mouth.
How many times do like boxers do it, or football players, or like UFC fighters, or whatever?
Those
Like
10-year-old boxers and UFC fighters.
I mean, there are kid boxers, though, and shit, though, right? I mean,
yeah, I suppose.
Yeah, like they're just getting. He's just getting them amped up for the intensity of being on the road.
You've been hanging out with Bigfoot too much, man.
training for life, motherfucker.
So yeah, he whaps his kids around at 10 for not knowing how to use the clutch. Danny would again fail the 3rd grade this year, so for counting, that's held back twice. During this, he's like Bart Simpson now.
Wait.
Listen, lady.
Wait a second. Wait a second.
Yeah.
He's in 10. He's failed the 3rd grade for the 3rd time, and his dad's mad that he can't drive stick.
Yeah.
That seems like an early age to be worrying about that.
That's a different skill set. That's why, Greg.
I mean, let's think about it, though. He did beat his ass for crawling incorrectly, though, too, though. So
but I mean, like, at least, wait till he's older, no? Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm old-fashioned.
Greg, it's 1965. Everybody was old-fashioned.
get with the times.
So,
Those times or which times?
Either or, baby.
Okay.
yeah, please maybe don't get with
Pick
those
one and
guys.
stick with it.
Oh my God. So, he got beat up for trying to learn to drive. In 1965 at 11, Danny walked in on his parents having an argument. His mother pretty much turns, looks at him, slits her wrist with a razor, and then locked herself into the bathroom. James knocked on the
That's
door.
savage right there.
Yeah.
Is this because of you?
James would then knock down the door and continue to argue with Claudia while she was bleeding on the floor.
Why'd you do that, Mom? Stop doing that.
No, the dad.
dad.
Yeah,
Oh, the
like
dad.
burst down the
Oh,
door and was like, "I'm not fucking done with you," and they're still brawling.
Oh.
And
I thought he
look
was
at
like-
you. Rolling watches his mother laid on the floor bleeding, and Claudia was committed to a hospital once he got her help. Danny tried to stop his father from beating his mother, and in return was beaten for interfering. Yeah, you gotta take care of just get your defense up. Danny began to play the guitar and would sing his prayers at night. He started to fantasize about sadistic violence at this time, however, and the fantasies became more sexually violent. Danny began to have serious alcohol problem, and he would steal his alcohol anywhere he could get it, mostly from friends' parents. This is 11-year-old.
11 years old.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. I mean, to be fair...
To be fair.
To be fair.
To be real.
18 was probably the drinking age back then, so he's not 10 years out. He's only 7.
That's all.
Yeah. So, yeah. He's become a heavy drinker at 11 years old. In August of 1966, James is going to beat Danny for not getting a haircut in time for school. He beat Danny with the belt buckle side of the belt and shaved his head. Kids teased him as a result and called him names such as Sasquatch or Bigfoot.
What's wrong with that? I don't see how that's a negative. I don't see any negative connotations to that.
I invited you to the perfect episode.
What a coincidence.
He didn't ask to be called that, though.
I still don't see. Any
You asked to be
problem.
called that?
So, well, he half earned it.
Yeah.
So it's
It's like a self-appointed nickname, and
got
then
the
we just
tattoo.
went along with it. Yeah.
So, Claudia tried to confront James over what he had done to Danny, the shaving of his head. What did James do in return to this confrontation? Did he A, try to kill her, B, beat her again, C, told her to take the kids and leave, or D, left himself? Did he try to kill her, beat her again, told her to take the fucking kids and leave, or did he just get the fuck out of there himself? Ray said try to kill her. Robbie said beat her again. And Casey says he just fucking got the fuck out of there himself. Ray's going to get on the board because James attempted to kill Claudia. He put his hands around her neck for some time. And I think Danny and Kevin,
Try to intervene.
yeah, I think they did just enough to get her fucking neck free.
Right.
They're, I believe, 12 and 10 at that point and had to save their mom's life. Listen, bro, 12 and 10-year-old come at me, I'm not dropping my grip, though. You know what I'm saying, bro? I'll headbutt those two motherfuckers down.
And not lose the grip.
They don't got no moves.
Quick like.
Danny's father found him drinking with a friend in September of 66. So Danny was dragged home by the neck and thrown in jail for 2 weeks. Small town.
His dad's cop too, right?
Yeah, exactly. So he's taking him down. He's like, well, you know what? Fuck you. I'm going to put you in the fucking cell for a couple of weeks, you little piece of shit.
He's teaching him a lesson.
After getting out, Danny refused to talk to his mother because she wouldn't come and get him. He grabbed a knapsack and ran away from home. I imagine everybody who runs away in the 50s and 60s had a little hobo sack over. I can't imagine that was not a. Everybody had that, right? A little bindle. Is that what
It's called a bindle.
There we go. Right as you leaned forward, I was like, "Wait, I know it." Before he says,
I like hobo sack. That's pretty.
Yeah. Hobo sack. Hobo sack. I feel like if you say that, more people are going to imagine what you're talking about than by calling it a bindle.
Wait, what?
You know,
A bindle.
hobo sack.
Oh, a hobo sack.
Okay. It all makes sense.
If you
now.
say both, everyone will know. That's the idea. So Danny spent his first night in the woods nearby. So, I mean, he got out of there. He fucking was like, I'm going to break free.
12?
There's some woods nearby. I got a knapsack, bindle, hobo sack. He would claim that on his first night out, he masturbated to fantasies of killing people and controlling them. He's out on his own for his first time, and he's like, yeah, I don't want to have these impure thoughts at home, but out under the
here?
stars, this
It's
is
on.
where it's going to happen.
In the
So
woods on my own, man.
he returned home the next morning when hunger overwhelmed him.
That didn't last long.
Mother Nature did not give him food back. for
So
the seed that
he did learn
provided.
from his mom.
Yeah.
Just run away and then come back.
There you go.
That's
In 1967, at 13, Danny and his brother Kevin were handcuffed together on the floor after not cutting the grass to their father's liking.
Ooh.
It's
They
like,
didn't make the line straight.
yeah,
They
listen,
were
you
like,
little 13, 11-year-old piece of fuck. You know how many spots you missed out there?
You little bastard.
We don't really have weed eaters. It's 1967. This is new technology for us. You got to go hit it with a roll mower, you little bitch. I'm just imagining exactly. what
aggressive.
I was going to say very, very aggressive.
aggressive.
I'm just taking all of what he's putting out there and
I
using
felt
that
it.
energy back. You know
felt
what I'm
it.
saying? Greg sat back from the computer, man. He didn't want to be a part
I'm
of
gonna cower here in a second. Yeah.
Why not now?
Well, he's not doing it right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But in that moment.
it. I've been solo dadding for 4 days. That's a lot of suppressed
That's
stuff.
true.
That hasn't,
That's true.
Actually come out.
That's true.
Did you masturbate in the woods?
No,
Everybody has at one point.
no Bigfoot. I have a backyard.
Have a shower, okay? Leave me alone.
So, yeah, he's masturbating in the woods, returns home the next morning from hunger. They get handcuffed together on the floor because they did a shitty job on the lawn. When I did a shitty job on the lawn, my dad was like, yo, you're getting $4 instead of $5 because you didn't do that good, and I got to go do some shit out there. I'm like, that is a deal. Next time I'm going to do a little bit shittier of a job because I will gladly take $3.
So you'll do it next time.
Yeah. So in 1968, Danny saw a naked girl for the first time because he began peeking through neighbors' bathroom windows. He was caught twice by neighbors. His father once caught Danny and beat him to the ground until Danny couldn't and wouldn't stand. Just like drug him out from the house that he caught him peeping at and just like beat the fuck out of him on the sidewalk and then just left him like, peace, little fucking punk bitch. Spit on him one time and rolled out.
Who's your daddy?
Yeah.
Wait, his dad beat him, or the dad of the people being
his
beat?
dad beat him because he was in the neighborhood and he had like snuck out to go peep. So his dad's like out looking for him and he sees his little fucking creep son all jerking his dick in a fucking bush looking into a neighbor's bathroom window, and he promptly asks him to put his wing away, and he fucking pulls him out into the goddamn street and beats the shit out of him and leaves him for dead.
What would his dad have done if he just left it out? I was like, what's up, Dad? What are you going to do about it?
He presented
Power
himself.
move.
Yeah, present yourself.
I'm the alpha now.
Wait. Weird flex, but okay.
Now you got to do it.
Is that right? Did I do it?
Yeah, that was good. That's perfect.
Yeah.
He probably wouldn't get beat anymore if he just looked him in the eyes and kept going, you know?
Yeah.
You would have stopped at that
Never
point.
make eye contact. Yeah. So Danny was, he got beat. He was still very often being beat by his father, and he also attempted suicide, but failed. So they're not good at not beating their kids, and they're also not good at suicide.
Just sounds like a lot of beating.
And suicides.
A lot of it's happening. So Danny's going to start having more dreams of people beating and torturing him with demons going through him. Danny was thrown out of his home by his father after a fight over whether he could wear jeans to church. You guys go to church occasionally. How do you feel about jeans at church?
That's perfect, man.
Jeans, yeah.
I like jean shorts at church.
Jorts. Taking jorts
yes.
into. Now, this is an important question. So
Yes, you can see the bottom of the pockets.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So are we talking like mid shin jorts? Or are we taking it like, it's like a nice
Depends
Thigh
on your
highs.
style.
Thigh highs.
just like the ones that like
As long as there's
almost
no
look like pants.
as long as there's no brain hanging out, you're good, you know?
It's short. It's the mid thigh shorts and Tevas with the t-shirt tucked in and a fanny pack.
Oh, yeah.
You go to my church?
So yeah, all right. So yeah. I mean, I guess in the early, late '60s, maybe it wasn't as acceptable, but he kicked him out of the house for it. He's like, "Oh, you want to wear fucking denim to the Lord's house? That's how you're gonna pay respect here? You know what the thing is? You don't even have a house anymore. Get the fuck out."
It's called Casual Friday, not Casual Sunday, you heathen.
So later that night, Danny's mother snuck him back in once James fell asleep. That's adorable. She didn't look. I don't think she wanted her son to be getting his.
She
goddamn
snuck him
ass
back in.
Yeah.
Not like, hey, your dad's probably gonna kill you. You should get out of here. Let me sneak you out. Nah, come back. Come get some more beatings.
Just don't make him mad.
Just don't piss him off.
No, it was his night, and she was next. And since he was out of the house, it made her day next, and she wasn't ready for it.
She was a target.
Survival of the fittest. I like that.
So Danny got a job, December 25th, Christmas 1969. Danny got a guitar for Christmas, and he taught himself to play and write his own songs. He was actually pretty good. Greg, I know you like when these killers produce music to hear it, so I have a sample for you.
he recorded it.
It's a tape recording. He's playing and singing on like a tape recorder.
Everybody's got to start somewhere.
So I got about 10 seconds, or maybe it's about 30 seconds for you here. So here's a Danny rolling. This is much later. This is not 16-year-old Danny rolling. This is going to be about 15 years later. So, but I figured I'd mention it, or I'd give you the clip now because I told you he's into the music. So here you go.
As soon as the tape starts playing, I hear Danny playing the guitar.
Hey,
Yeah, man.
Danny
I would
rolling.
check out his SoundCloud.
So in case you missed the lyrics, I believe he said, what'd he say? Fuck, let's run it back and we can see those lyrics.
As soon as the tape starts playing, I hear Danny playing the guitar.
He's a dream writer with your name. You're a killer, a drifter, gone insane. Yeah. You're a rebel nobody can tame. No one can tame. Yeah.
That's some good lyrics, though. You know,
not terrible.
Yeah.
And even,
Yeah, and I mean,
even
the
voice doesn't
melodies-
sound too
the
bad
melodies-
too.
Yeah, melodically it's on point, I feel like.
Yeah, no, he nailed it. I feel the mood too. I can appreciate it. I like what he's.
And
got
now you
going.
also have to picture like this dude's a drifter. Like he's like sitting out in like
But nobody can tame.
Yeah. He's like sitting out in under the freeway with his acoustic hitting play on a fucking tape deck and you know.
But I like how he
I'm
threw
gonna send
Killer in
this
there
to
too, though.
RCA.
What was that?
I like how he threw Killer in there too, though.
Yeah, he's
It kind of shows where his mind was. You know what I mean?
and going for sure. Yeah. Yeah, man.
Not bad, man. Not bad at all.
It really isn't.
Yeah.
Like I probably listened to that a good half dozen times too, and I was putting this together. I was like, man, this motherfucker.
Yeah.
I'll just give you this clip now too. I'm gonna use it in the episode, but
I want to sample it.
this is him. This is him in court at one point. Like the other voice you're gonna hear is the judge.
Okay.
And it's gonna be clear which one is Danny.
Okay, excuse me, Mr. Rollins. Down the path you choose, Mr. Rollins, to follow. Mr. Rollins, tell me, baby, what were my words?
He's just in court. The judge, Mr. Rawlings, like, tell me, baby. It's like he's on.
Yeah.
He's like making love to the audience.
He's in court and insane as well too.
So that's fast forward a little bit. So let's go back to 16-year-old Danny. He was thrown again in jail again after his father caught him drinking with a neighbor this time. It's like 4 years later. 71, Danny hunted and killed many animals, including shooting a snake, and was arrested again for intoxication before the day was out. This is one day. Like he went around and every animal he saw, he just murked. March 1st, 1971, Danny threatened his father that if he did not sign him up for the armed forces, you guys know what's coming, he would run away from home for good. He had dropped out of high school by this time, but had received his GED. Question number 5. In what branch of the military was he asking to be placed?
Godly.
Bigfoot says the Navy. He wrote Canadian Air Force, but we know what he means. Robbie said the Army. Ray said the Army. Bigfoot's going to get 250 points. Because, yeah, dude, he wanted to be in the Navy, come on, and sail the 7 seas.
Nah, he wrote Canadian Air Force, all right?
The same thing.
Technically, he was wrong.
He also wrote Navy.
I'm going to finish this one under protest.
Okay.
Son of a bitch.
Asterisk.
So, yes, he asked to join the Navy. However, June 28th, 1971, at the age of 17, Danny failed the Navy enlistment test.
Of course he did.
Question number 6. He is going to join another branch of the military and be accepted. Which? All right, Bigfoot said Marines, both Robbie and Ray didn't write anything different and just showed me their answer from Army. So that's the step down then, right? It's like you didn't.
Sure.
Yeah. You said that, not me. So Danny Rolling is going to join and be accepted by the Air Force in Lackland Air Force Base in Texas.
And not the Canadian Air Force either.
Yeah, but how cool
Canadian
does
Air Force.
Private Rolling sound?
Once he worked security, police, and strategic air command at Homestead Air Force Base in Florida, he became an airman first class rolling. He was first class rolling, bro. During his time at Homestead Air
So
Force
amazing,
Base,
dude.
he tripped on acid over 100 times and did other drugs while he was in the Air Force. So that's actually pretty dope.
That is.
Expands your mind.
Yeah.
I feel like it made him a better person.
No. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, like, of all the things we're going to talk about that he does today,
That's the
this is
coolest
probably
thing.
going to be one
He's
of
now-
the more
That's
dope.
one of the
them.
cooler things.
Is he
that
now
did.
in Trump's Space Force after all that acid?
So 1972, Danny was locked up for a drug possession charge and was disobeying orders. He lost a stripe and was diagnosed by a psychiatrist as having a personality disorder. He was forced to leave because the psychiatrist diagnosed him with having a personality disorder. He was forced to leave under honorable discharge, however. I think that's kind of how it was back in the day. Like nowadays, you get some fucked up shit, and they're like, listen, you're never buying a gun, you're never voting, get the fuck away from us, please don't ever come back. He's struggling, guys, pretty much in all facets of life. He was forced to leave under the honorable discharge, but not long after this, he would lose his virginity while high on LSD. When he woke up the next morning, he said it was one of the greatest regrets of his life.
Oh, wow.
He wanted it to be a special moment, man.
How's that
19
not
has no
special when you're
problem.
high on LSD? You're just in however many dimensions that you're
It's
in.
not always the best time, is what I'm saying.
Well, it depends, though.
It was the
It
best
does
of times. It was
I like
the
that he has no
best
problem
of
tripping nuts,
times.
but he feels bad about having sex.
Maybe. Yeah, I don't know, man. I think he just... A little guilt's not, like, impossible, right? Like, it happens, so...
Was it consensual though? That's the question.
I mean, from what I understand, yeah, they just were both tripping on acid and they had sex. And it was his first time. I don't think it was her first time.
Well,
And
of course, it wasn't her first time.
so, 19... You guys just had to laugh. We couldn't just let it go. Could have been nothing. So 1973, after his discharge, he returned to Shreveport to live with his grandmother, and he found religion at the Pentecostal church.
That let him wear jeans.
Now, call me ignorant, but Pentecostal is like the very like
It's very charismatic.
yeah okay. They're like
High
It's
energy.
like speaking in tongues.
yeah. After his discharge, he returned to live with his grandma. He was baptized after he became Pentecostal. He became very involved in the church and church activities. At that time, he met Omatha and Halko, who he thought God gave to him. Like, motherfucker,
Amen.
You've been Pentecostal for like 14 months, and you're like, God just giving me gifts now, man. Like, how special am I? So he's going to just 2 months later, I believe, marry Omatha and Halko, who was pregnant with his child. In 19, that doesn't seem very Pentecostal.
She was already pregnant.
No. Like he got her pregnant in the couple months leading
Right, and
up
then
to-
they got
yeah,
married.
yeah,
Right.
and they got married.
She was definitely not a virgin, too.
Yeah, I don't know the story on that one either. So in 1975, his daughter Kylie Danielle was born, and Danny began to feel the pressure of working 2 jobs to support the family. Danny began drinking, and dude, you guys, it's heavy. Began smoking marijuana.
The reefer.
The devil's lettuce.
So he left.
Yeah, the electric lettuce.
I just read
Electric Avenue, I know. Take that shit to the next level. Orderly. So he started to act so irrational that Omatha became afraid of him. So like he's smoking weed, he's drinking again, he leaves church, he's acting super fucking irrational. He's been married for I think like about 2 years at this time. He's slowly spiraling down and becoming his father is what it looks like to me.
Yeah.
Danny would run off for hours or days without telling her anything. And remember, this is his wife with whom he's just had a child. So he's like, yeah, you got this. Fucking ass. Like, and just
Out.
for sometimes, like, it was like not 1 or 2 days, like 7 or 10 days. Like, he would just be gone. Yeah, you fucking got this. In 1976, at 22, Danny was caught peeking into windows and returned home to his wife by an officer.
Jeez.
Can you imagine how fucking embarrassing
Hey,
that
your
would be?
fucking
Like, you're out-
husband was peeping.
Was he beating his meat though too?
I don't.
It would. The only thing that would make it better is if she caught him and drug him out to the street, beat the piss out of him, and left him for dead.
So Danny, you're gonna love this one. Danny is now claiming that he's seeing weird things like UFOs.
What's weird about
demons,
that?
And demons
We're all aliens, man.
and Jesus and ghosts.
Pentecostal.
In other words, super fucking metal things is what I think.
I
is
mean,
what-
you went to the paranormal symposium with me.
we drove an hour to go to it too. It wasn't like it was like around the corner or something.
So was he really seeing weird things?
Old Town Visalia.
Oh shit.
That's a mission.
Went down to Pete's place.
I see those things too, but it's because I'm Googling them.
I've actually
I know they
sent
didn't have
sent
Google in the
Greg a
70s.
video of UFOs one time that I recorded.
Damn.
You recorded?
Yes, sir.
Never seen that.
Ask Greg.
Allegedly.
UFOs.
So, his wife and his parents are. Yep. He saw the weird things or fucking metal things, UFOs, demons, Jesus, ghosts,
Etc.
His wife called his parents when he stopped going to work, and his father came to the house and put a knife to his throat. Yes.
That's
you
a
thought
pep talk.
You thought his dad would have like calmed down in his older age.
Yeah.
Now he's like in his mid 40s, and Danny's now 22. But there's no fucking way his dad can come give him a spanking over it, right? No. I'm just gonna put a fucking knife to his throat. Son, you need to handle shit right now. You need to handle it good, or alternative, I'll fucking kill you.
Spanking? What is he, 6 weeks old? I've been whooping his ass since he could crawl.
Hey, Greg, Mr. Conspiracy, I have a theory. His dad was a time traveler, knew that this guy was going to kill a bunch of people, went back in time, attempted to kill him, but just couldn't bring himself to do it ever, like fully. And
'Cause he tried.
Yeah, he kept trying to,
tried.
and he was like, he just couldn't cross that line, you know?
I think we all know that nobody can travel back in time, Casey.
Yeah,
Future.
well, I was gonna say, there's that. But,
Ask Marty McFly.
Assuming we could, if you're going to take the effort, if you're going to take the effort to go back in time to kill somebody, you're there. You're going to do it. They're not just going to send anybody back. You know what I mean? They're not just going to send like.
They would
back
send
to
somebody
kill
who
your
wouldn't
son.
care. They'd be like, "Here, take this silenced pistol. You have 5 minutes. Head back." Also, you could ask Marty McRex. He's right over in the corner.
Nice.
Yeah.
Just watch Looper. It'll explain it.
I will not. So, in 1977, Danny put a gun to his wife's head when he said he was going to. When she said he was going to. Danny put a gun to his wife's head when she said she was going to leave him. Can someone here help me figure out how this perfectly raised young man is learning these behaviors? I don't understand.
Dog, I'm trying to figure that out.
why he would possibly put a gun. Like, where did he learn to put a
I don't know
weapon to
where
a
the gun
loved
came
one's
from.
head?
His dad didn't use guns.
Unbelievable.
He came from a very loving Pentecostal family.
Some people just know you can't, that they're not going to be able to stab someone. So they're like, yeah, but I could shoot someone.
Well, what doesn't make sense to me is you're gonna leave me, so I'm gonna kill you. Like then she's gone. Like if
Yeah.
she leaves, she could come back. Apparently, that's a thing.
Well, it escalates because later he would threaten to kill her and her ex-boyfriend when he caught them having an affair.
Well, okay.
That's warranted, right?
He beat up the ex-boyfriend and Omatha after she threatened to leave him. After he blew up because he caught them having an affair.
Sure.
She's like, I'm gonna fucking leave if you don't just calm down. And he's like, oh. And then so he just fucking pummeled both of them.
Both of them.
Both of them. So
Yeah, that's kind of bossy, though.
he's
you
like,
know-
you're
Yeah.
gonna give me the ultimatum now, huh?
No,
And
Yeah,
then he
five,
just starts.
5 minutes ago, this other guy was inside my wife, and you want me to calm down?
Yeah. I'm gonna throw haymakers.
Yeah. that one, I'll give him a pass. That's reasonable. I'm not going to say I agree with it, but I'll say it's reasonable.
Okay. So they were divorced 6 months after this event. So for the better, maybe. But now Danny's kind of like, not that he was like really being supervised, but now he's like, unsupervised. So
And
Danny,
with no kid.
yeah, right after the divorce, Danny commits his first rape on a woman who resembled Omatha. This tendency will be one of the first that begins his similarities to Theodore Bundy. Danny got in a bad car accident later that resulted in a woman's death and was tormented by this incident. So he didn't get in trouble for drinking and driving, but it's pretty much like understood that he was shit-faced drunk. But it's like 1978. Like, I'm not saying they didn't catch drunk drivers, but I don't think it's like today where
That's prevalent.
you get in a fender bender and they're like, hey, blow into this. All right, look, I think I smell some alcohol around here.
Different world.
That's how you get out of fender benders.
So, he killed a woman in a car accident is essentially what the long and short of it is. And he knew that. That's why he felt so much guilt over the incident. 1978, Danny became suicidal, but could never complete the act. He felt guilt for the woman being killed, for losing Omatha and his child, but he couldn't muster the strength to kill himself. To ease the pain, he started to date Mary Lynn, who was 17, and he went to church with her. Keeps on finding the Lord, my dudes. You know, that's what you got to do. You keep on finding the Lord. He'll show you the way. I think that's how it goes.
With a 17-year-old.
Yeah, yep.
Saves me every time.
So we don't know what the rules were in Shreveport, Louisiana at this time. Might have been perfectly legal. But it could have also not been at all. So Danny begins to commit numerous robberies. Well, of course, right when you find the Lord, he'll help you. You get the post-robbery interviews, and you're like, you know, first off, I couldn't have done this without God. He really put me on this path. And I don't think I could have gotten $712 from this bank out here if...
Sometimes you got to help yourself.
Do what you got to do.
Yeah.
So,
Through God, all things are possible. Jot that down.
Trademark.
So, Danny begins to commit the numerous robberies, and he was hoping... Like, he's being very reckless with these because he wants someone to shoot him and kill him. So, what a fucking coward piece of shit. Like, he can't fucking kill himself. This puss is trying to put it in someone else's hands. Like, fucking kill me, please. I can't fucking do it. Come on, man.
No, don't shoot. Don't shoot. I'm kidding.
Please kill me.
But I want to die.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, 1, 2. No. Wait.
Yeah, fuck this fuckface bitch. It's like, I already fucking hate him so much.
There's so much backstory on this guy.
Yeah, there is.
But, you know, I'm surprised it took him that long to rape, though.
I think he pretty much from the time, like, it was like he lost his virginity at 18, and then at 19 he was married.
Right.
So it was like he hasn't really been without it, and then it ended, and he was like, no, this is perfect.
Right. Now's the time.
Yeah, exactly.
To rape.
And really, he's peaking into like perfect time of psychopathy starting to break through. So if it does show any of those tendencies, like 19 to 25 is really when you like,
The most horny?
Yeah. Well, when psychopathy starts
That
to really,
too, probably.
Yeah, that's not incorrect. So it's the perfect time for him to just really start showing some really bad fucking signs. So May 25th, 1979, he's now 24 years old. He's going to rob a Winn-Dixie supermarket in Montgomery, Alabama. We once got an email telling us that not everybody in Alabama was a hick piece of shit, and we totally know that. But like we say Montgomery, Alabama, the same way like you maybe in Alabama might ask me when I say I'm from California, like, oh, do you surf? Like, do you live by the beach? Like,
you ever been to LA?
Yeah, it's just like
tacos.
Hang 10. You got to go on this hike. It's just a dumb thing. We know it's not true of everybody. There are many intelligent. There are doctors in Alabama, I think. So like there are definitely people who are smart.
Yeah, but are their qualifications different than our qualifications?
They're probably
It's
still
a different country. So he robbed the Winn-Dixie in Montgomery, Alabama. There was a clean around that week. Question number 7. Question number 7. How much was the score from the Winn-Dixie heist? Can you see it on the GTA menu?
Yeah.
Where was it?
You can use different cards.
I just imagine him with like blueprints and everything, and like this is it, we're going into the Winn-Dixie.
Okay, Robbie said $69.
Nice.
Ray said $700. And Bigfoot said, what was it, $365?
$357.
$357.
Magnum.
Ray's going to get 250 points on this one because he scored a clean $800 from the grab. Greg, can you give us a 1979 conversion?
That's a lot of money.
Yeah, I want to say that's like $2,700 to $3,000. That'd be my guess.
Grand,
yeah.
1979.
Yeah, 1979. So, he got $800. Just a couple days later, 6 days later, May 31st, 1979, he robbed another Winn-Dixie in Columbus, Georgia. We don't know about the amount there.
Just shy of $2,800.
Yeah.
There we go. I've heard Greg do it so many times that I'm like starting to kind of just be aware. I almost don't need you.
It's fractions.
I was going to say, I don't know it, so I have to look it up every time.
Half an hour after the second Winn-Dixie robbery, he was arrested by 3 officers and confessed to the armed robberies in Alabama, some others in Georgia, and Louisiana. On July 31st, 1979, Danny was sentenced to 2 concurrent 6-year terms for armed robberies. The first time his mother saw him in prison, she described him as thin and distressed. The second time she came 1 month later, he had put on weight and was bodybuilding. He seemed to have learned to cope with prison life. On August 20th, 1979, Danny was processed into the Georgia prison system at the Medical Classification Center in Jackson, Georgia. On October 8th, 1979, he escaped from a road gang while they were chopping down trees. He surrendered about 100 yards from the prison's boundaries after an officer fired a warning shot.
That'd have been a good question.
Yeah. Thank you. Duly noted. May 13th, 1980, he was sent to Reidsville prison for about 6 months. According to him, he was almost raped there. After 6 months in Reidsville, Alabama picked him up and extradited him to Montgomery to stand trial for the robbery he committed a year earlier. His lawyer had sent him to Bryce Mental Institution for 2 to 3 months. Doctors there would conclude that he was indeed sane and sent him back to the Montgomery County Jail. He was caught trying to escape again and sent to the hole for several weeks. Question number 8. That year, he spent one of his favorite holidays in the hole. Was it A, Christmas?
Oh, I was going to stab.
All right. Let's see. Shit, I said one of them.
Yeah, sorry.
already.
No, it's fine. You said it.
Yeah,
It's good.
sorry, man. Christmas, Thanksgiving, St. Patrick's Day, or Easter?
I can't
All right.
imagine how distressing St. Patty's Day would be in prison. Like everybody's just fucked up off green Pruno.
Ray and Robbie both say Christmas. Bigfoot says Zombie Jesus Day. But it is none of those things.
Dang, really?
He
hated Christmas.
He loved the food and the family. Not his dad, obviously.
Right.
But he liked the extended family, and he liked the camaraderie that came during Thanksgiving.
Boo.
So 0 points for everyone. Bigfoot got a 500 to 250 lead. He spent Thanksgiving in the hole for fighting. It's a fair fucking holiday, guys. That's sad. Next, he was sent to the St. Clair County Jail to finish up his sentence. He was a trustee there and ran off after dumping the garbage one afternoon.
I'm still going to take the garbage out.
Yeah.
But I'm gone.
Well, he gained the trust
took it
there.
all
They
the
were
way
like, he
out.
gets to go outside the fence and like toss the trash. Like, well, we're the guards. We don't want to fucking do it. Have this asshole do it. He's gained the trust. And one time he was like, and just fucking, he was gone, dude.
I'm out.
He's the fastest kid alive.
He went to some woods nearby and masturbated.
This kid's a freak.
Spread his seed.
He's the fastest kid alive.
So, he made it out of Alabama, but was caught 3 days later in Natchitoches, Louisiana. Where?
That shit sounds delicious.
Natchitoches? Natchitoches.
Sounds like a meal
Natchitoches, Louisiana.
or a fungus.
I was going to say, I think it sounds delicious.
Danny was immediately sent back to the Alabama Classification Center. He remained there for 3 months until being sent to the Staten Correctional Facility. He earned a good reputation there as a boxer. He never lost a fight. A big moment for him took place when he saw his first and only total eclipse of the sun at Staten. It was like a life-changing
straight
event
at it.
for him.
Snap.
Yeah, it was like some cosmic shit for him. Like he had some like weird like.
He was already perma-fried.
Well, it's like every time someone interviews him, he talks about this. It's totally you might not be wrong. 100 hits of acid, dude, over just a couple years in the military.
That'll fuck you up.
Yeah, I don't know if that whole
I was
thing
gonna
about it
say
being
they
stored in your spinal column is a real thing.
Right.
But if it is, 100 hits might put a lot of reserve in there.
Fucked.
Someone let us know about that.
And he wasn't doing it voluntarily, I'm sure. He was in the military, and they were probably just force feeding him LSD, because that's about the right time for that.
Shut up, Greg.
Agent
I
Orange.
agree.
Yeah, see,
Whatever, I'll
Ray
get my
agrees.
I'll
Shut
get my
up.
platform in a minute.
So we're going to take a break right here. We're going to come back. We're going to take a fucking break from Danny rolling, but it's not going to be better because Greg's going to be talking.
That's what I'm talking about.
This is why I'm going to get my soapbox. No, so we're going to come back with a Hella Greg story. He's actually been bringing some fire this season, and I'm fucking stoked about it. He's also got a question for you guys. Ooh. So the Hella Greg questions have been a thing for season 4. They're going to continue. He's going to work for it. So come back for Hella Greg story, the end of Danny rolling, Hella Greg question, and some other shit talking that we're going to do. Come back, or we'll kill you.
And I'm going to go get some fucking nachitoches and a Coke.
All right, I hope you guys enjoyed that song. Again, if you're looking for them, that's NeverFall, one word. Check them out.
Capital F.
Capital F. And again, if you're in the Carolinas, find these dudes. Everybody likes a live show, right? Come on. Greg and I also have social anxiety about going out and doing these things, but we're always down for a metal show. You don't have to get in the middle. You don't have to get in the pit. You just go on the outsides and enjoy yourself. Go in the pit if you want. Get some energy out, though. You know what I'm saying?
Last time I saw Slayer not too long ago and was definitely in the pit.
Keep those elbows down, everybody. Nobody likes a hardcore kid anymore.
Help them up.
So we tend to forget this, and we apologize to everybody because I think you know, if you are a patron, how much we appreciate you guys as patrons. So this is like the 30 shout outs we're missing. And again, we apologize, everybody. Life got in the way. But here we are trying to make good on our Patreon shout outs, trying not to make it a whole episode where we have to list off 60 some odd names. So here's about half of those.
So you're getting them all in 15 seconds. Ready, go.
Yeah. Lisette Hernandez. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so this is a huge thank you to all of these people. Everybody on here is giving at least $1 to the Patreon. You guys can do that too if you'd like. If you love the show and you want to give in any way. Greg and
Or if
I...
you hate us and you want to just pay us to go away.
Yeah. Greg and I truly use the Patreon money for the good of the show. Like, I think... you know, I don't want people to ever get the wrong impression that we're out just like blowing this money. We like every single cent of this goes right back into the show, and like we can't say how much we really appreciate it. And if you're a fan of the show or you're on the Instagram, you've seen that we've kind of been floating the ideas of live shows too. So, you know, that with Patreon growth comes the ability to get to Utah and get to New York and get to Indiana and Australia. And yeah, you know, like we got all the suggestions. We listen, you guys. To the 2 people that said no on the poll, why are you fucking following us? If you wouldn't come to a live show, hey, maybe I'm misunderstanding why, but hey, you do your thing, man. Everybody else who said yes, we appreciate you, and we hope to see you out at a live show one day. Yeah, the Patreon's huge. So patreon.com/Serial Chillers Podcast. If you guys want to give anything to help out, this is going to get too long if I keep talking because I'm a blabber. So a huge thank you to Lisette Hernandez, who also sent us really wonderful Easter cards.
Yes.
To Mac, M-A-C, Sierra Duncan, Hattie Hastings, Christina Lacono, Beer City Media, Ryan, Larry, Josh, April, and the Conspiracy Therapy Podcast. Feel like brothers and sister in arms there. Darian Hewitt, Nicole Manchester, Crystal Wolf, Core V, and Amanda Reyes.
For the record, Crystal Wolf has an E at the end. Take that, Paul.
In your fucking face.
Also, Jocelyn Zapata, Brittany Jean, Bobby E. Roberts III, Brittany Snowden, Katie Carnes, Julie Kelly, Becky Malloy, Kayla Griffin, Heather Furness, Amanda Reyes, Taylor Oxt, and Violet Peterson.
There we go.
That's everybody from the bottom of our shitty, clogged, overworked, tired hearts. Thank you. We really, really mean it.
And we really do. Like, it's huge to us. This did not start with the idea of even getting this far. So the fact that we have, and you guys have showed so much support and really kept us going throughout. I mean, it's been, we're right up on 2 years now. So I
am still amazed at the fact that somebody else wants to hear me talk.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're like, we don't.
It's not just us wanting to hear each other anymore.
Yeah.
So huge shout out to everybody on the list. Thank you guys all so much. If you want to give, it's patreon.com/Serial Chillers Podcast, and we fucking owe you the world.
The world.
Enjoy the rest of the episode. Do it. All right, welcome back everybody to episode 88, I think. Yeah, it is. It's 88. I could just go to the back at the top of the outline, but then I'd lose where I am now, and that's just not acceptable. So we're coming back with a Hella Greg story here. It's as is with tradition. It's becoming more and more common for this guy to bring it. And Greg, I know there's a question involved. Is it to the top, or are you going to bring it sometime in the middle?
It's in there.
It's too perfect. That was too perfect.
It's near the middle. It's not in the middle. It's like in the it's around a third.
Very good. Take it away. I'm going to give you like some type of visual cue if you're lagging out.
Okay.
That was crazy. You were right here at the mic, and then all of a sudden you were like, you were Peter Griffin, one frame, 10 feet away.
I was going to say that wasn't a lag. I'm just really stoned.
Keep that.
So this is a little bit about this. I might do this, and I think I might do this in like installments on here.
Okay.
And I think this might be part one.
Wait. You have to, if you're going to do it in installments, you have to say like, you know, you can pledge this much for this many months.
For the second installment.
To hear the duration.
Or just wait until the next episode, which I assume he's going to. Oh, okay. You got to pay for this. This seems unethical.
You got to pay to play.
I'm trying to get you
First
guys
taste is free,
some
just
money.
to get them hooked.
Yeah, I get that.
Sponsorship.
I just don't want to do it in shady ways, you know.
No, this is all. That ties perfectly into what I'm talking about because it's all shady ways.
Please go on.
This is about how the U.S. government was and could possibly still be one of the biggest drug dealing enterprises of all time.
You don't say.
I like that you just rolled your eyes. Like
I didn't roll my eyes. I rolled my entire body but my eyes.
Oh, like a chicken with like the steady cam
Yeah,
head.
it was like...
So yeah, I mean the war on drugs, for-profit prisons, stuff like that was all done on purpose. But this is like I said, part one. This is the Iran Contra Affair. Some of my sources for this, the History
North?
Channel did a pretty. What?
Is this Ollie North?
It is Ollie North.
I only know about this because of American Dad.
I was gonna say because the American Dad song. I purposely did not watch that clip during this because I didn't want that song stuck in my head for the duration of this. But it's still there. Ollie North, Ollie North. So the History Channel did a pretty solid recap of the Iran Contra affair. But so I got a lot of information from that. Also, CIA library and Freedom of Information Act documents, Bibliotheca Pleiades because they're always a good source for stuff. CBS News interviews, various podcasts and YouTube productions, and also what I like to call "quote unquote" the internet, just at large.
Ah, yes.
Yeah. So during Ronald Reagan's war on drugs, the Gipper was also one of the largest drug dealers out there. Beginning with the Cold War, we know what it was. USA and the USSR not really talking to each other, but still living in the same house.
Mr. Gorbachev, take down this wall.
Oh no, that's definitely in here. Not that exact quote, but So Reagan, he was tough on communism. He allegedly promised to help fund groups fighting communism all over the world. And then with the help of the CIA, they were funding and training these groups. One group in particular was the Contras. They were fighting the Sandinistas who were backed by Cuba, and Cuba was communist. See, that's bad for Reagan. The Sandinistas actually took over power in Nicaragua in 1979, and that just made Reagan mad.
Reagan smash.
He decided to support the Contras instead. After all, he said, quote, "They were the moral equivalent of our founding fathers."
Like they're revolutionaries.
Yeah. I don't know how he meant it. I mean, they're a militant organization funded by drug money. It's not necessarily like our founding fathers.
That you know of.
Yeah.
I guess you're right. I mean, they did kind of show up here and just kill a bunch of people.
And then their own people came, and then they just like killed a bunch of them too.
Yeah, and then
sick. That's metal, bro.
Yeah.
and they did a bunch of messed up shit for generation after generation after. You know what? I could see that. Okay, you know what?
And then like eventually they started just like talking about murder on internet radio shows that you could listen to weekly, and then like having people over to their house and like get a little high and like have some beers and just like do that for fun.
A little high?
I'm living my best life, bitch.
So the Contras, like I mentioned, were funded by the cocaine trade, and this was a problem. So much so that Congress passed what was known as the Boland Amendment, and that specifically said that you can't use U.S. funds to support anybody attempting to overthrow the governments of Honduras and Nicaragua. So, like, they specifically said you can't do this anymore. You can't help them. No. And the Gipper wasn't deterred. He told Bud McFarland to support him anyway, no matter the cost. And question number, 9? Is that what this is?
Reagan determined. Yes.
Yeah. Question number 9. Who the hell is Bud McFarland? Is he A, the National Security Advisor, B, the Secretary of Defense, C, Reagan's Vice President, or D, director of the CIA.
Oh, Greg's asking you like real questions. I would never do this to you guys, by the way.
Thank you.
All right. Ray and Bigfoot both said D, and Robbie said B.
Ooh, no points for anybody. He was actually the national security advisor.
Ouch.
A was the right answer.
Damn, we. Okay.
Yeah, so he used Iran to help fund the Contras. In 1985, American
Like a
hostages
jogathon
were
or
held
what?
on a plane. Yeah.
Exactly.
I was trying
like
to figure out a
jogathon.
way to work a flock of seagulls joke into it, but I couldn't. I do it a different way. In 1985, American hostages were held on a plane in Iran. If you've ever seen the movie Argo, it's that.
Oh yeah, that's a good flick.
Yeah.
I've seen Argo.
I've not seen Argo.
Argo's good.
Said the 6 people who've seen Argo.
Yeah, but this guy thinks every movie is a good flick.
It's a good movie, man. Though, and it's a true story too. Obviously,
Clearly.
True story.
Avi
Well, they've taken liberties.
and death.
So Reagan said he wasn't going to negotiate with terrorists. He specifically said that he wasn't going to negotiate with terrorists in order to get these hostages back. But he told Bud McFarlane to do whatever he had to body and soul together. Basically, don't let these people die. So taking that as a green light, he traded weapons with Iran in exchange for them to broker the release of hostages.
Like, so this is all because this
is like
Reagan
NFL
didn't-
trade deals.
Reagan
like
didn't
multi-team
just
trade deals working on like a governmental scale.
but like also not being very clear with one another. Like, I'll give you one of our first, like, I don't know, like third-ish, and then giving them a riddle to fucking, you know what I mean? Like, this seems like something you would just be like, all right, listen, this doesn't leave this room, but we need to let these hostages die. So he's like, riddle me this, riddle me that. Like, what the fuck, man?
What's up with those Iranians and Gats? It has to rhyme, doesn't it?
Yeah. That's what I was hoping you would finish it anyway.
Cats.
Yes, that also rhymes.
The book can also be a hat.
So I was gonna love how many fucking Family Guy references. Is that Family Guy? Is that right? Yeah, that's what I figured. Fuck you, Paul.
Bud McFarlane took it as a green light to do whatever he could. So he traded weapons with Iran in exchange for them to broker the release of hostages. All of this took place despite the fact that there was a trade embargo with Iran at the time as well. So we weren't like even legally supposed to be trading with Iran. And we were like, yeah, but we're gonna give you weapons. We're gonna give you we're gonna give you weapons and a bunch of money for more weapons, and you're gonna give us these hostages. So it gets a little creative, and until now has been pretty much above board, right? Like all this has been up front. Well, it hasn't been up front. But we've broken a trade embargo, lied to the nation and world about negotiating with terrorists. But other than that, it's all been pretty forthright. So the U.S. allocated $30 million for weapons for Iran. However, some of that money did not make it to Iran and landed in Nicaragua with the Contras.
Even 80s, $30 million for weapons doesn't seem like that much. Like, I understand that's like, that's probably.
You could buy a lot of 22 ammo with $30
Yeah, I was just going to say, I understand like getting like maybe, like arming all of your soldiers with like an automatic weapon or something. But like beyond that, what I think, like, hey, we have planes that drop gigantic bombs. Like,
It would be approximately $70.64 million today.
yeah. Wow. That's still like not like, doesn't a fucking F-16 cost like $3 billion to build or some crazy shit like that?
They were desperate. Their best weapon, the Iron Sheik, was here with us.
And he was just getting his ass kicked.
Fuck the Hulk Hogan.
I was going to say Hulk Hogan was out there swinging the American flag and dropping bombs on the Iron Sheik.
Look here, brother.
So, some
We
of that
just
money
run Hulk
did not
Hogan's
make
theme
it.
behind Greg's whole story right here.
You what?
So we just need to run Hulk Hogan's theme behind the whole story here.
I wish I could remember it so I could sing it. I know I remember some of it, but I can't remember the whole thing.
Robbie remembers this.
I was trying to.
Something about American.
I am an American.
Oh, right.
No, that's living in America.
Yeah, that's
No, dude,
right.
that's totally wrong. Yeah.
I like that someone agreed until Greg.
It's like, oh yeah, that's
I'm
right.
a real American.
That's it.
That
Fight for
sounds-
the rights of every man. There
Sounds
you
like
go.
a
Nailed it.
ripoff though of We Are in America.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
not a ripoff.
Yeah, but so that one wasn't that far off. Thank you, Ray. Thank you.
It's copyright infringement.
All right,
okay?
Greg. I'm sorry.
All right.
Please, Iran Contra
Don't
Affair.
Yeah, back to history class. Some of that money didn't make it, landed in Nicaragua with the Contras. It was reportedly, well, you don't really want to get caught trading with people that you're not supposed to be trading, and then not trading all of what you said you were supposed to be trading and doing something else that's against something that Congress told you to do. Like, that's just all bad, right?
You're just like fucking up on all ends.
Yeah, you're fucking up, and then you're fucking up.
Like, don't, just tie up all the loose ends and give them the fucking $30 million, and at
See,
least they won't be
now
fighting you back for it.
When you're in the government like this, tie up all those loose ends usually just means killing people.
Conspiracy theory.
Well, so let me finish. In 1986, Al-Shara, a Lebanese newspaper, reported on this whole arms deal, and that got a bunch of people looking at stuff. The U.S. Attorney General began an investigation and discovered that of the $30 million allocated for weapons for Iran, which was already a backdoor deal, only approximately $12 million made it to Iran. So 18 million of the 30 million went to the Contras. So,
And that's
I
how
mean,
they
like-
became Super Contra.
right. Well,
Extra Contra.
what they did was they turned it into a video game franchise and cashed out and never sold drugs in the United States.
Hella merch though. Hella merch.
Yeah, they're just living off residuals. Every time you buy a Hot Topic t-shirt that says Contra on it, you're supporting this.
The war on drugs.
Yeah, so Reagan denied knowing anything. He said, I didn't negotiate with terrorists. Colonel Ollie North said, I did, but Reagan knew.
Reagan, ignorant.
Yeah, plausible deniability is really what it is. So there's a big investigation launched in, but Ronnie's only fault was his lack of oversight. That's what they found him. They were like, he's not really guilty of anything, but man, he was not paying attention. And they were collectively, people were disappointed, but soon forgot about it. In a second investigation, he finally testified. Again, found not guilty. However, Bud McFarland, the guy who set up the deal, Colonel Ollie North, 4 CIA officers, 5 quote unquote government contractors, and the current national security advisor, John Poindexter, were all found guilty in the whole thing.
Man.
But Reagan was like, no, not the Gipper, not me. I'm just a simple actor from California, used to be Democrat.
Want a jelly bean?
Right. Robert Bonner, the head of the DEA, said the CIA was responsible for smuggling the drugs into the United States, and because that's what the Contra was doing. They used the money that they got to start like a smuggling operation into the United States, is what I've gathered out of this. And
Takes money to make money.
right. Well, yeah, all you got to get that seed money. And then you got to plant that seed money, grow a money tree.
Yeah.
So the case was actually broken by Gary Webb, who was watching the trial of a famous drug dealer. And during his trial, another famous drug dealer was in there testifying, but he was like under oath. And he was like, yeah, no, totally. We were selling a bunch of cocaine for the CIA. And
yeah, no, we were doing that.
yeah, he was like, because what are they going to do? I mean, is the guy going to stand up in a black suit looking like Agent 47 and just put one between his eyes in the courtroom?
Be pretty dope, though.
Probably not.
It absolutely would be, but it would never happen like that. here's how it happens. Gary Webb broke the case. He interviewed that guy, found out a little bit, did some digging of his own, basically put up a website in, the 90s when this was taking place.
Oh man, it probably had a bunch of like twirling animations on it.
Well, this is back when the internet was like not that.
Oh, not
it
quite
was
there yet.
it was like a file sharing system
the
still.
It was dope.
It was when the internet was still a file sharing system. So he had a page that he basically used to collect all of this information. And he had all of his source material for everything that he did to write his investigative article. He was working on a cocaine case. That's how he got onto this. And after a little digging, he discovered that the CIA was complicit in Nicaraguan Contras smuggling of cocaine into the United States. So he put this whole article together. He made this whole blast and got a bunch of people fired up. I mean, at one point, at this point, like on the internet, his page was getting 1 million views per day.
When you said the internet was like just file sharing, not
when it was straight file sharing. So like journalists and stuff like that. And I mean, eventually they launched this massive smear campaign. LA Times, New York Times, Washington Post were all just bad mouthing this guy. Big time. Big time. Talking
big
about
time.
Well, so they brought him on
That sounded like Borat.
fuck.
Big time.
They brought him on what was it, like Hardball with Chris Matthews or something like that. And he's sitting there, and they brought on a guy from the CIA as well, like a representative from the CIA to sit there, and they were going to have this debate like they do. And they were like, you don't even have any evidence to support your claims. And he was like, actually, I've got an entire webpage full of evidence. And they had this massive debate or whatever. And he was like, afterwards, he handled himself so well. Afterwards, like I want to say it was Chris Matthews. I don't remember if it was him or another interview, but the guy that was interviewing him was so pissed off, he stood up and he stormed off set, and he accused his producers and stuff of setting him up. Because he was like, well, fuck, if he's got all this information, why am I out here making myself look like an asshole? And
Good point.
Right. So as a reward for all of his hard work, he killed himself, 2 shots to the head, ruled a suicide.
2 shots to the head.
2 shots to the head, ruled a suicide.
Boom, now you're dead.
Mm-hmm. Gary Webb. I'm just going to let that one simmer for a second. Gary Webb claimed that the Contras were able to move cocaine and cash in and out of the United States with much more ease than any of the other cartels during the height of the war on drugs. Now, it stands to reason that with all of the events that we've seen and discussed in the past, shady government organizations, from smuggling arms and subsequently losing them until they kill U.S. citizens, to blatantly falsifying crimes and acts of violence to justify war, it's not too much of a stretch to think that maybe the CIA would be taking a little money for themselves or even running the entire operation. Especially when the flow of cocaine was so available. It drove prices way down, and now that it was a drug that everybody could enjoy, crack becomes a thing. It's cheaper to buy. Low-income areas get it, and then the war on drugs was basically, again, in full effect. So they were using like a militarized police force to, to go after these small-time drug dealers who are literally selling $10 a crack at a time and getting these crazy harsh sentences for this overinflated war on drugs. And it broke up entire communities. That may or may not have been the goal. I don't know. Nixon had a war on drugs too. And he also said, we can't make it illegal to be black and we can't make it illegal to be against the war. So we made marijuana and heroin illegal. Yeah. So, the government's always got your best interest at heart. That's about where I'm going to stop with this, because it feels a little bit like history class now. And just do your own homework. Go look it up. I mean, I'm not going to tell you how to feel about it one way or the other. There's some North is a communist, and there's some people who are still like, Ronald Reagan messed up. And I don't know. You do your own homework. I'm just telling you what I read.
All right, you hear that? Teacher Greg's just giving you guys an assignment, please.
Mr. Hella?
Yeah, Mr. Hella has assigned you pages 69 through 420 of the Iran Contra Affair. Please make sure you have all this reading complete. by next week's episode to pick up for
All the questions are on page 666.
For part 2 of Greg's Could the Government Be Selling You a Bunch of Drugs? Yo, hope so. Swing by my house. I will take the half ounce of birthday cake and let me go half ounce of OG Kush. Thank you very much, government.
Sorry, is crack okay?
Oh, yeah. Okay, so thank you, Greg. I always appreciate it. I didn't mean to roll my eyes, man. That's not my intention for you to see that.
Was it not though?
I was gonna say I can feel it when people listen to it. I can feel when they get there.
See, the thing is the people really love the conspiracies. I don't love them. That's Greg's part of the. I'm not saying I don't love having them on here. I'm saying that, like, if you were to send me a conspiracy article, I wouldn't read. I would be like, oh, cool, man. Unless, if he was like, no, seriously, like, read this. If it was just a random send, hey, check this out. It's like,
Nah.
Read the headline.
yeah, exactly. But if he's like, dude, you seriously need to fucking break this down, I might look into it then. It's nothing that interests me, really.
Yeah.
Because I know weird shit's happening. I'm not even about to imagine that I can
Do anything about it?
At least in true crime,
right here.
at least in true crime, there's like sleuthing you can do online, and you can maybe actually truly help in a case.
Right.
And there's very little chance for you to hurt in a case unless you're some fucking vigilante asshole. And Greg's stuff, which freaks me out now with kids and shit too, is like, I know a lot of this is real. I don't want to insert myself into any of it.
Right.
I guess I kind of am because Greg's got the platform, but like, you know what I mean. I'm not saying
revolution begins here. Viva la revolution!
Well, dude, too, like, kind of going off of like the whole like movie thing too. There's a movie called American Made with Tom Cruise that touches on the Contras and shit. Where this guy, he was like flying planes of coke, like back and forth with the Contra and all that shit too, and like
using
like
CIA planes.
Yeah,
that's
using
why they
CIA
get it in and out
planes.
so easily.
Exactly. Yeah. That's a fucking good flick, man.
Hey, we need to just have like a raid to do a movie show where it's just all positive reviews.
They would all get 5 stars. They'd all get 5 stars.
Not all of them.
Hey,
Okay,
there's
but most of them.
something endearing about that, though,
I'm
right?
getting the lowest rating I've ever given.
4.9.
4.9.
Still good though.
All right. Well, thank you, Greg. Let's finish up Danny rolling. I'll just tell you guys now. I had a third story, but since it's already 11:40, we'll cut that off. We'll just finish up with Danny rolling tonight. We'll see how we feel when we get there. How about that? Sure. You guys tell me. So, June 7th, 1984, Danny was released from an Alabama prison. He returned to Shreveport to see his mother and father. He stayed there a short time until he and James got into another fight. So just to give you guys a recap, remember, this was when he's earning a good reputation as a boxer in the Alabama prison. He never lost a dang fight. And he saw the total eclipse of the sun.
Not the heart.
Nope. If only he had. So yeah, he gets out. He goes and stays with his parents. Him and his dad throw fisticuffs again. And
Shocker.
So then he moves in with his Aunt Agnes until eventually.
Yeah, but who won?
Well, I don't know. Doesn't say.
Tell me Dad took the title and was like, my belt now, bitch.
Maybe so. He put it on while standing over him. So he stayed with Aunt Agnes for a while, but he would eventually return home. Like all good people do, they return to James. November 1984, Danny broke into a young girl's home after watching her for several hours. His intent initially was to rape her, but he started crying and he felt bad. So I left this in here because this is his account of what happened after this. So he decided at this point not to rape her. Instead, they talked, had a cup of coffee, sang songs to each other, and then engaged in consensual sex.
There's a big difference there.
LSD? Were they on LSD at all, maybe?
She then took him home, and he fled town in fear that she would call the police. So sounds like you might have raped her anyway, though, right? Like that what I'm understanding with his.
I'm going to say that it was consensual, but I'm going to skip town anyways.
Right. And he's not like a little kid anymore. This is 1984. He's 29 now.
Right.
In January 15th, 1985, 30-year-old Danny traveled to Camarillo, California to visit his aunt, uncle, and cousin. He then hitchhiked all around for about 6 to 7 months, becoming a drifter that no one can tame. Visiting more family in Florida, they then moved with his aunt and uncle in California for 3 months and left abruptly, claiming that he had to see his daughter back in Shreveport. He got in a motorcycle accident and was treated for a concussion and nerve damage to his back while returning to see his daughter, which I don't think he had ever planned to do. He was just trying to get the fuck out of there. He was treated for a concussion and nerve damage in his neck. He hitchhiked a ride home from Camarillo to Boulder, Colorado, and stayed there for about 2 weeks. He then traveled to the Black Hills of South Dakota for approximately 2 weeks and continued to Columbus, Georgia. So, he is a drifter that no one can tame. He's all over the fucking place.
And a killer.
Yeah, exactly. And then some other words that you don't really know because this guy's talking.
As soon as the tape starts playing, I hear Danny playing the guitar.
Close enough.
I want to hear the rest of the song.
That's just like the end of the song.
We're just missing like 2 lines or something right there that I know are gonna tie the whole thing together. Depending on how this episode ends, because I like to play along. I have the outline so I can play at my own speed, but I haven't gotten down to the end yet, so I don't know what this guy's status is. So depending on how this episode shakes out, I might drop him a line.
Try to jam with him.
Casey's like, still alive! January 15th, 1985. Where did that part? Sorry. So he's traveling the Black Hills of South Dakota for approximately 2 weeks and continued to Columbus, Georgia for another month. July 22nd of 85, he robbed a Kroger supermarket of $290, or about $683. Thank you, Greg. July 23rd, 1985, Danny stole the keys to the family's car and took off in it. Police arrested him the following morning. He never gets away for very long, does he? He doesn't seem to be very good at running. March 20th, 1986, he's much better at rolling. March 20th, 1986, Danny Rolling.
Rolling joints? Boo this man.
I'm a father.
I was saying
and a drifter.
boo earns.
Thank you, Casey. Yes, Mr. Snrub, that'll do. Danny Rolling pled guilty to the Kroger robbery and was sentenced to 4 years in Jackson County Jail. April 15th of 86, he escaped from the jail by simply walking off and swimming the Snake River that ran through Jackson, Mississippi.
Definitely a river you want to swim in.
Yeah.
Sounds like it's full of happiness.
It's not called Happiness River. He would be brought back to the prison after just 2 days on the run. July 19th of 1988.
That's further than I thought he'd get.
We found him cold and wet.
He's a slippery fuck.
He was crying again. Danny was paroled from the Mississippi Penitentiary under the conditions that he returned to Shreveport. They're like, listen, get the fuck out of Mississippi. You need to get on over to Louisiana and stay the fuck out of They literally told him, like, this town ain't big enough for you. Like, it's time to move on.
See that line? See that dotted line on the ground right there?
Time to mosey out of this
That
motherfucker.
side of it.
Yeah, and that's the way it's going to stay forever. So, yeah, he's... They fucking tell him, get the fuck out of our state. He's looking for jobs at this time while he's in Shreveport, not finding much success, but eventually he did, doing some like bussing and cleaning up work at a restaurant. November 4th of 1989, he was fired from this job. The boss claimed that he missed 3 consecutive days of work, and when he was confronted about it, he exploded in a fit of rage and threatened to kill both the manager and the cook of the restaurant.
That's so out of character.
On November 6th of 1989, the bodies of 3 victims were found. Julie Grissom, who was 24, her father Tom Grissom, and her nephew Sean, who was 8. The medical examiner estimated the time of death to be 2 days prior to the attack, or to the discovery of the bodies. The day that Danny Rolling had lost his job. So, maybe needed to blow off a little steam.
He found a new job.
Mm-hmm.
What was he blowing off?
December 24th, 1989, Danny and James Rolling were fighting, say, what?
On Christmas Eve.
Yeah, Danny left to wander the streets yet again. He came upon a house where he had watched a woman undress before, so he decided to break in. Nobody was home. While waiting for her to return, he watched television, listened to her stereo, and sampled her vast collection of alcohol. She never returned, so he stole about $30 worth of dimes, a fifth of Chivas Regal, and a .38 caliber revolver.
Ooh, big come up on there.
Yeah.
The dimes?
That's like, you know what
All
that
of it.
feels like?
What's that?
That feels like when you're playing a video game and you're just starting out and like you break into a house and you're rooting around for a minute and you're like, what do I got? What do I got? And you just some pocket change, an open bottle of booze, and a 38 caliber revolver with no bullets. Fuck. And so that's what it feels like. Is
Like it was just what was there.
Yeah, he just got the opening loot of a video game, and now he's off on his little quest.
Shit end of the stick.
Yeah. So after stealing
first
these
drop?
things, yeah. Question number 10. How long would it be before Danny used this gun in a crime? No love, you guys. Robbie says 1 week. Ray says 1 day. Bigfoot says 1 hour.
Oh, shit.
Those are some pretty good answers. It's actually going to be 6 months. Oh, so he's going to let things blow over, and Robbie's going to tie this thing up. Triples across the board after 10 questions. 500 to 500 to 500.
You guys don't have any faith in this guy. He's turning his life around.
I tried to have faith at the beginning, but now it's just all to shit.
Question number 11. What crime did he commit with the 38 revolver? Was it A, murder, B, assault with a deadly weapon, C, rape at gunpoint, or D, robbery?
How
Murder.
come it's never
What?
How come it's never E, broke into a pet store and pet all the dogs? That's what I want to do.
Okay, so both Robbie and Bigfoot said rape at gunpoint. Ray said it was a robbery, and Ray's going to take his lead because it was a robbery. Broke into a home.
Give me that shit.
Of Michael Kennedy, stole 2 more handguns and the identification papers for the deceased Michael Kennedy Jr., Michael Kennedy's son. So this dude's trying to assume some identities at this point. And this is like early on, like in 1990, did people even like think about identity theft really? Like, did you have to be in like a certain ring of people? Like, was that something that was really prevalent? Like, I know like you get like check scamming and shit like that, but like full on like assuming an identity seems like something that only somebody who was like an extreme convict might need to do.
That's rude because identity is a spectrum, bro. You can't just assume identities.
That's genders, bro. Not
okay, okay.
genders.
Move on.
So June 2nd, 1990, Danny broke into the home of Michael Kennedy. You guys got it. June 12th, Danny robbed Westwood United Superstore, getting away with $1,661.
Shit.
He was videotaped telling witnesses, "Thank you. God bless. Please pray for me. God knows I need it."
Always goes back to God.
On June
That'd be
30th,
about $33,222.07.
Okay. On June 30th, 1990, Danny returned to that same Westward United Superstore and stole an additional $2,001. So this place was fucking holding.
Got to get that dollar.
Yeah. July 9th of 1990, Danny made collect calls to Shreveport in which he described hiding in the woods and evading police. He also smoked crack cocaine for the first time, tying in
From
comes
the
full
Contras.
circle.
Yeah.
Look at and what year is it? It's 1990. So, hey,
That government cocaine.
Is he still in Southern California?
he is in Shreveport, Louisiana.
Back east.
Yeah. July 22nd, 1990, Danny took a bus to Sarasota, Florida. It was there that he began his transition into Michael Kennedy Jr. On August 23rd, 1990, Danny Rolling checked in a local hotel under his new assumed name, Michael Kennedy Jr. He set up camp in a wooded area just after he ran out of money, within 2 miles of all of his crime scenes. August 1990, he burgled the apartment of Christopher Osborne, stole his car, and drove towards Tampa, Florida. There, he burgled several houses and convenience stores, leaving a trail of evidence behind. Like, he's not a clean... You remember the Ted Bundy, like, you know, you're super fucking organized. He's not quite even to, like, his murder spree yet, and he's already just...
Shit.
Fucking up.
Yeah.
So, I got a question.
Yeah,
When
hopefully
you said...
I have an answer.
When you said he set up camp in a wooded area within 2 miles of all of his crime scenes, was he localized in one area and just like criming in a 2 mile radius, or was he like on the move and he would commit a crime and then run for about 2 miles and then set up.
Very small radius.
So he was...
Has a campsite. He's murdering within 2 miles from that campsite. And you'll know why in a little bit. You'll understand.
Okay.
Everybody will. August 24th, 1990, Danny broke into the house of 2 college freshmen armed with an automatic pistol and a knife. He covered the mouth of one of the girls with duct tape and stabbed Sonia Larson, who was 17, to death. He next taped Christina Powell's mouth and bound her hands. He removed her clothes and fondled her. So his thing was that he would bind them with duct tape while they were still dressed, and then he would cut off their clothes. So this become kind of a signature for him as we see some later attacks. He forced her to perform oral sex on him, and then he raped her. Next, he stabbed her 5 times, killing her. He would also remove a nipple as a trophy. He would actually return to Sonia's body and rape her again one more time before he left, or perform necrophilia, I guess you could say at this point. He fled their apartment, throwing all of the evidence in a dumpster outside of the apartment. While riding away on his bike, he began to feel ill when he found one of the girl's nipples in his bag. Like, he kind of had forgotten that he'd done it, and he, like, reached in and was like, what is that? Oh, my fucking God. And it kind of made him a little sick to his stomach. So August 25th of 90, Danny killed Krista Hoyt. So we're in it now. So he's murdering on a college campus. It's Florida State's in Gainesville, right?
There's a bevy of babes.
This is Florida State that he's set up outside a wooded area near Florida State. So all of these students either live in the dorms or in apartments nearby Florida State. I think 2 of them don't go to Florida State, but a nearby community college, but essentially live like right near the campus. So on August 25th of 90, he killed Krista Hoyt, who was 18.
Florida, just University of Florida.
Oh, okay. Gators. Sorry. Yep. Florida Gators. So he killed Krista Hoyt. He beheaded her body and sat her upright at the edge of the bed, and her nipples lay beside her, and her head sat on a shelf across the room, staring back at the rest of the scene.
Brutal.
Fuck, dude, that's so gruesome. Like, I was picturing that as you said it, and that's just so fucking gruesome.
And it's escalation at its finest, because he goes back, he kills and he rapes these girls in the first place, and he's already we're gonna be proving later that he killed that family of 3 in Shreveport. So he's got 5 murders under his belt before he gets here, and the first one's just like kill and get out. Second one is kill. I'm gonna take some nipples with me. He gets to this third one, and it's like,
didn't like that, but I'm gonna do something else.
It's full on. Well, he did. He took her nipples, but he left them laying next to her. Like, it was
right.
super staged.
He didn't take them and put them in his pocket and forget about them again. He didn't like that.
Yeah, he staged it to leave her, in a very vulnerable looking position without her head, and her head was sat up on a bookshelf, staring back down at.
Jeez.
But
like, can you imagine that not being the first thing you see when you walk in? So you see the body
a maintenance guy did.
Oh, fuck, that poor bastard.
Yeah, because her friends, like, essentially saw him walking around. I was like, dude, we haven't heard from her in, like, a couple days. Please just open the door so we can check. And he's like, yeah, I got the skeleton key or whatever. Pops the door open and goes in, and he finds her
head.
And they believe that the decapitation and staging didn't happen for, like, possibly up to 2 days. So
he just missed him.
Possibly, but also that just goes to show that Danny Rowling might have been in that apartment for a couple days after he murdered this chick.
But doesn't there get to a point to where they have to, like, up themselves from, like, the last time, though?
Yeah, that's what this is.
You know
Escalation.
what I mean?
He's totally escalating. Like, this is he's not coming off of anything anymore. Now he's got to fucking cut a head off to even get a fucking rager. So that's that's what it's like a drug. He's smoking crack cocaine at this point too, I believe, a little bit. So everything is like he's chasing a high for everything. And
chasing the
like,
dragon.
I need to fucking decapitate at this point.
Sounds like he needs to go back to Pentecostal church.
So metal. It's so metal.
August 27th, 1990, Danny broke into the apartment of Tracy Pauls and Manuel Taboda. So the thing at this point is like tons of students are like fleeing campus. Like there's someone like straight murdering. And remember, this is the first murders on the 24th, the second murders are on the 25th. So 3 people have died on campus in 2 days in 2 separate attacks. So people are leaving. People are like bunking up together. People who have roommates are feeling pretty safe, especially like where I lost myself here.
People are afraid, basically.
People are very, very afraid. There was I watched some old news reports of it and stuff like that too. Manuel Taboda was like a fucking athlete. Like he didn't in college, but he was still in super good shape. So Tracy Paul's like, I got this. I live with a super buff guy. Like he's my roommate. Like what have I got to worry about? Well, Danny Rolling came in, found Taboda sleeping, and there's clips where they asked Danny Rolling, like, well, how do you sneak up on someone and kill him? And he says, go for the lungs. Like, you go for the lungs, they can't do anything. Like, they're helpless. So he's like, you just go right through the ribs and you take out the lungs. And he used K-bar. So he was
methodical.
He was like a military personnel.
He was there for he was using a knife that was there to do some damage.
I was gonna say inflicting maximum damage.
Mm-hmm. So there were no mutilations to these bodies, but they did have the cuts from the clothes to the girl, but there was no sexual assault visible either. Some people believe that he was interrupted before he could do anything here. Another thing too, I should mention,
didn't like dudes.
Maybe
there's that.
But Tracy Pauls is there. She was in the apartment as well. Another thing about these first three before Tracy, who they didn't find it on, was that when they were bound, it was with duct tape, but the duct tape was never there. Like there was clearly signs of ligatures, but he took them and would clean their bodies. He would wash the residue of the duct tape away. He would
washing dead bodies.
Yeah,
say that's time though too. He's spending on doing that.
Well, like we said, he might have spent 48 hours in Krista's apartment after he murdered her. So that's what he's doing. Is he's I think he's maybe learning from his past mistakes. You can't just fucking fly by the seat of your pants. This takes planning, especially now that I'm decapitating people. August 28th, police begin their surveillance of a man named Edward Humphrey, the suspected killer. So it's not Danny initially, it's this guy, Edward Humphrey. He's a student at Florida as well, but other students were reporting him for suspicious behavior at this time. So there's murders happening. There's this fucking weird guy. He's constantly floating around this apartment complex that he did not live in. The university diner was 24 hours, and the people that worked at the diner were all alum, I guess, or whatever. So they were all, it's fucking weird. He's here from 2 to 6 in the morning. He doesn't fucking order food. He just sits here and sometimes talks to himself. Yeah, he's this creepy dude, so police are getting the reports about this guy. He's also got a Glasgow smile on one side. It's super scarred up and looks really fucking crazy. It looks like he did it to himself kind of deal. It doesn't, it's just his behavior and that scar go hand in hand. So they're kind of looking at him. Once he was in the diner and he heard about the killing of Krista Hoyt, and he just began laughing hysterically. So essentially, he was in there hanging out with Bigfoot. At this time, he moved back with his grandma, but would quickly have a violent event with her. He beat his grandma's ass. She tried to get him to take his meds.
You're in my world now,
yeah. Bitch. You will go to sleep, or I will put you to sleep.
Check out the name tag.
So police would arrest him, and they were elated to have a reason to hold him because he had just beat his grandma. So they set his bail at question number 12. How much? He beat his grandma's ass, but they think he's killed 5 people. So I don't know if that changes this or not.
What year is this?
This is 1990. All right. Bigfoot says 25,000. Ray said, what was it? 10,000. Robbie said $1 million. Robbie's going to get 1,000 points because the bail was set at $1 million. Nails it late to take a nice 1,500 to 750 to 500 lead.
I was way off.
Yeah, so $1 million.
Well, they thought you killed all these people, right?
Yeah, so I think that's what it was. It was there were a lot of people even fighting it. That's not fair. You can't hold him at $1 million fucking bail for assaulting his grandmother. Yeah, it wasn't a good thing, but that's a $10,000 bail crime. And they were like, nah, 1 million. 1 million will do. So at this time, DNA is in its infancy because they have the killer's blood. They have identified blood at the crime scenes and unidentified blood at the crime scene. So that blood is the killer's blood. They don't even have a DNA profile on the killer yet, though, because DNA, again, it's in its infancy.
right.
So they're sending it out, and it's months before you get results. I think it's still like that in some jurisdictions and cases now. But getting a blood type, not difficult. So they find out that the killer is blood type B. So they hold, sorry, what's his fucking name again? Edward Humphrey. They hold Edward in jail for 2 weeks before they finally test his blood type. All right, we'll see if like he's possibly part of this. So they do the blood test, and Edward, clearly, that's not who the story has been about, is not the killer. Although crazy acting and looking, not the murderer in this case. He still spent 3 years in prison for the assault to his grandmother. He's, like I said, he kind of also had the fucking huge Glasgow smile, which didn't really help. During this time, there was a bank robbery that takes place right at the beginning of the case, not 3 years later and shit. During this time, the bank robbery took place, and a suspect was tracked due to an exploded ink pack in the bag of cash. So the dog, like, essentially picked up the trail of the ink and followed that. The trail of ink led back to a campsite that had been abandoned, but the money bag was found covered in the pink ink, along with a knife, duct tape, a flathead screwdriver, and a stolen .38 that he had taken from the woman's house that he broke into and was waiting for that never showed. Danny had narrowly escaped arrest on these bank robbery charges. At this time, too, they're actually looking for a flathead screwdriver. Because it was used to break into the homes where all these murders took place. But like a tool forensics expert told him like, oh, this is going to be a Stanley brand that you're looking for. And this, I can't remember what it was, but it wasn't Stanley. So they didn't even nothing clicked with them because they were looking for a Stanley flathead screwdriver. They also found a tape recorder with this fucking song on it.
Still got the other one stuck in my head.
As soon as the tape starts
You
playing,
decide where you want it, Greg.
I hear Danny playing the guitar.
I'll get you guys this mixtape.
It's fire.
They don't take much look into the flathead screwdriver. They're just really fucking jamming out to the tape recorder. So Danny narrowly escapes. August 31st, 1990. At this point, all of Gainesville is in a panic. Thousands of students left Gainesville. 700 never returned. Wow. So 700 Florida students dipped because of these serial murders and never came back. Wow. On September 2nd, 1990, a Tampa saving pack was robbed. On September 3rd, Danny Rolling assumed the identity of a man named Jesse Lang. On September 8th, 1990, Danny stole another car and headed for Ocala and attempted to rob a Winn-Dixie supermarket. While forcing the manager at gunpoint to empty the office safe, the store's bookkeeper called police from a phone in the front of the store. Police arrived as he pulled out of the lot and a high-speed chase began. After crashing his car, he fled on foot to a nearby office where police arrested him. On September 12th, 1990, the story breaks. Question number 13, he receives a nickname as the media picks up on the details of the story. What is the nickname they will give him? Is it A, the college killer, B, the ghost in the night, C, the Gainesville Ripper, or D, the Florida Free Killer? College killer, ghost in the night, the Gainesville Ripper, or the Florida Free Killer.
Florida idiot.
Okay, Robbie says C, the Gainesville Ripper. Ray says D, the Florida Free Killer. Casey says A, the college killer. Robbie can attack onto his lead because he is indeed the Gainesville Ripper. The story made the front page of the newspaper. Locally, the story is going to get national pretty soon. January 1st, 1991, Rolling ripped a toilet from its mounting and threw it across the room in a holding cell. So he's strong.
Jesus, dude, those things are like bolted down.
Metal.
It's almost like he was like Bigfoot or Sasquatch.
Maybe it was loose. So his defense attorney asked for psychological tests and moved to withdraw the guilty plea on Rolling's armed robbery charges. September through October of 91, he's convicted of 3 Tampa burglaries and murdered and murders sentenced to 3 life terms plus an amount of years. Question number 14. How many additional years on top of the 3 life sentences? 250 points to the closest, 1,000 points. You can nail it.
This is separate.
They gave
right?
him 3 life sentences, and then here's some years, just in case those ever get taken away. How many years on top? All right, Bigfoot says 100 years. Ray says 50. Robbie said 10 more years. Bigfoot going to get 250 points because they give him the 3 life sentences plus 170 years. So, yeah, you got to make sure. They take those life sentences away. You want to make sure he's still going to be in there.
True.
Okay, Robbie has 1750, and both you guys have 750. Boom. It's not over yet. There is one that you can be stabbed at. You guys are 1,000 points behind, and there's another question between that. So, yeah.
So there's 2 left?
2 left. So 170 years plus the 3 life sentences. On November 1991, DNA finally linked Danny to the 3 Shreveport murders that were linked in the Gainesville murders. Linked to the Gainesville murders. May of 1992, he is sentenced to a life sentence plus 30 years for the first Union Bank robbery. In May of 1992, he attempted suicide several times and was sent to the, quote, psycho ward of the Florida State Prison. In June of 92, he started correspondence with Sandra London from prison. She had just previously dated a serial killer. June of 1992, he was charged with Gainesville murders while in prison, and in February of 1993, he announced his engagement to Sandra London. In August of 93, 6 months later, question number 15, he made another big announcement. What was it?
He did.
Was it that A, Sandra was pregnant, B, he was going to start selling paintings so that he could pay back the families of the victims, C, he was taking a vow of silence, or D, he and Sandra wrote a book? Sandra pregnant, sell paintings to make money for the victims' families, taking a vow of silence, Sandra wrote a book.
Can you see that?
Okay, Robbie said Sandra's pregnant. Casey said that he was going to start selling paintings. Ray said that he was taking a vow of silence. But little did you know, Sandra London was engaged to a serial killer. Now she's with this guy. She's also a true crime writer. And together, they wrote a book called Making of a Serial Killer. So she gets with dudes to write books, it sounds like. I mean, I'm just saying. I mean, do your thing, but February of 1994, he's going to plead guilty to 5 murder charges that he was initially connected to. In March of 1994, the jury recommends 5 death sentences. Later that year, Danny's father beat his mother and threw her out of the house for the way that she had raised his child. She would die shortly after the beating. April 1994, at 39, Danny apologized to the court and the victims' families for the crimes that he had committed. And in April 1994, he is sentenced to death. In March of 1997, Danny's appeal was rejected by the Florida Supreme Court. Question number 16. In what year did Danny Rolling die?
He was sentenced in 94, you said?
94. So, if Robbie's the closest, he wins. Actually, Robbie wins pretty much no matter what. You guys got to nail it to tie Robbie. So if someone here can nail the year that Danny Rolling died, they're going to tie Robbie, and they are going to go to some tiebreaker challenge that Greg should start thinking of just in case.
Got it.
Okay, Robbie says 1999. Ray said 2002. Bigfoot said 2006. Break out your fucking tiebreaker hats, because on October 25th, 2006, Danny Rolling was pronounced dead at 6:13 p.m. at Florida State Prison in Stark, about 30 miles northeast of Gainesville. Witnesses said that he stared toward them and sang a hymn-type song just before the drugs were administered. Maybe now that we don't have this on us, said Diana Hoyt, the stepmother of one of the victims, we can try and relax and live with the memories we have of our children and be at peace.
Wow.
So that was going to be the end, but Bigfoot fucking nailed the Hail Mary from 60 yards into the end zone. So, Greg, do you have? I mean, that was not long notice. I told you to start preparing when I saw Casey wrote down the right answer.
2 seconds ago.
You saw him write it down, and
He wrote it and like showed me first, and I was like, "Well, that's right." Oh, Greg, start thinking of a tiebreaker just in case, because he just fucking died it.
I don't know. Give me a poem, but make it sound like his song about his life.
Dang, write those 2 lines to his melody, and then sing it, bitches. Just kidding. Do what Greg said,
Or else.
Points for presentation.
You got to strum on a get fiddle, too.
3 weeks later.
A stick.
You were going to add more?
All right, Casey, you got a poem
Can I
over
get
there?
another-
He's
can I get
nodding
another
his
note
head.
card? I
He's
need
like
more
getting
room.
into the beat over there.
Can we play the clip, too, to along to the poem, or no? Or is that too much?
I mean,
Whatever you feel like you got to do, man.
let's.
Oh, okay.
You want me to read them, or do you guys want to read them?
You got to sing them at least.
I'll sing it. Whatever.
Yes.
All right, Robbie, the mic is all yours.
All right. It's real short. My daddy kicked me as a baby. It caused me to kill all them ladies.
That's pretty solid. I mean, you got a lot of it in there. You got a lot of his life story in there.
Presentation.
It's legit.
He did the
was
malicious
real good.
compliance.
Gosh dang it, Robbie. I murdered a few victims. Is that okay? I tried to rape, but instead I sobbed all day.
That's a tough one, man.
Oh God.
That's a tough one. They both were great in their own way.
I gotta give it to Casey.
I thought I had that shit in the bag.
The ripping and the tearing, the ripping and the tearing.
Fisty Christie.
Robbie, I mean, honestly, if Casey had done it with any less heart than he did, it would have gone your way. But the
Casey
fact
put
that
the twang on it.
He really, really didn't want to do that and did it anyway.
That's real. That is real.
Okay, well, Bigfoot gets 250 points for winning the artistic challenge. It takes a 2,000 to 107.50 to you win, dude. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Autistic?
Yeah.
Or
Is this
artistic?
book from a book barn?
Oh, was that a pretend prize win? Thank you.
Something's better than nothing.
High fives. So yeah, that's fucking Danny rolling. That's some internet government shit Greg was talking about. That's a Hail Mary by Bigfoot right there. We can't write this stuff we could write this stuff if we really wanted to, but we don't. What else, Hella Greg?
When I was doing my research for my thing, Freeway Rick Ross, I watched an interview with him. Dude, that guy was making $200,000 a day selling cocaine for the Nicaraguans.
Yeah. I think
entrepreneur.
I think I forgot to mention it at the top, but find us any way you can. Instagram, Serial Chillers Podcast, Facebook, Serial Chillers Podcast. All the ways. You guys just find us.
805-666-2513.
Yeah, call us on the voicemail line and give us like your best. You just listened to the Super Network podcast, and we'll put you on the end of some shows. If you want to call and tell us why you love us or tell us why you hate us, we might do the same thing.
Just call us if it's good enough. We'll put it on.
Or just don't even talk
be
and just
the-
donate to the Patreon. That'd be cool too.
Yeah. Or just like call and breathe hard into the phone for 4 minutes. We'll just run that
That's
nonstop.
tight. That's how you get it played before the show
And
starts.
feature me.
Yeah. So yeah, like Bigfoot said, patreon.com/Serial Chillers Podcast. Give whatever you can. As little as $1 a month gets you into the show. $5 a month gets you a big old pack of stickers. $10 a month will get you, anytime we get new stickers, we send them to you. So it's like a lifetime sticker membership if you're giving $10 a month.
Can't
Yeah.
wait to get that.
Real deal Holyfield. Or you just grab a stack every time you're here if you like. That's fine too. So yeah, just find us everywhere, you guys. Get merch at serialchillerspodcast.threadless.com, serialchillerspodcast.com for stickers and updates, rate and review on everything. Check out Super Simpsons Show, supernetwork.com. Yeah, SUPR. There's got to be more. What do you got, Greg?
At Hella Greg on all your favorite social medias, and
don't buy government crack.
I mean, we already do when we pay our taxes.
Until next time, thank you, Robbie. Thank you, Ray. Thank you, Bigfoot. Thank you, Hella Greg. And thank you, everybody, for listening to episode 88 of the Serial Chillers podcast. Don't talk to strangers.
But they got the best crack.
This has been the Super Network.